Before we get into the game, I just want to tell all the fans, thanks for coming out. Students, the fans, I'm going to tell you what, they brought some juice, they brought some energy. We fed off of it. I think it goes back and forth. But third down, the energy was really, really good in there today. And we're going to continue to do everything we can to make the Jones the hardest place to play in the Big 12. And I understand our team's a big part of that, but so is the fans. And I just appreciate all of them coming out and supporting our guys through the end. Really proud of our team. This was a tough week. It was an emotional week. Nobody was very happy about the way we played last week, embarrassed, and I thought they responded. Tremendous amount of guts, especially late in the game. You look out there, we lose Des Smith early in the game. He's scheduled to play half the game at one of the corners. He's a three-team special team starter. And you look up and you got a true freshman safety and a true freshman corner just battling their tail off, Broderick and Jordan. Tremendous performance by Jordan Brooks. Just individually very, very heroic. I mean, all the TFLs and the sacks that he had, I thought he single-handedly just propelled our defense. Doug Coleman had a great game. And then offensively, really good drive in the fourth quarter. I think that shows heart. It shows character, guts, especially by our O-line and our running backs and our tight ends. Jet played well. He was stingy with the football. Almost 600 yards total offense and no turnovers. For the offense, tremendous. Great job, and just proud of our guys for the way they responded coming off last week. So, Don, you starting us off today?
Jet missed a couple of throws early. Was it a case of just him getting into the rhythm? The longer you went, and the more confidence he gained, and the more the offense kind of
Probably.
rolled.
Yeah. He was amped up. He's ready to roll. One of them should have been caught.
In any sort of way, as maybe the loss last week, can you see it as a bright spot how your players responded and maybe seeing more of that player-led program that you wanted to see in the beginning start to develop?
Yeah, it's something that we talk about. Don't think we're there yet. But I think we had some guys step up during the week. Some of the captains, some of the leaders. I thought, I'm not saying this post game, but the Tuesday practice was the best we'd had. It was physical, it was emotional, it was good. Our practices were really good this week, but we're not there yet in terms of all the player-led leadership. But I think we took a big step this week. Now the key moving forward is can we come back into the building on Monday morning at 6:30 and make corrections, see what we did good and see what we did wrong, and make those corrections and move on to another opponent. And it's going to be like this every single week in this league, I think. But proud of our guys. Big step today. Big win against the top 25 team.
I know you want to treat every game the same and every opponent the same, but can you allow yourself to kind of quantify how big of a win this is for the program that you're trying to build?
It's our first Big 12 win this year. If this is, it's the biggest win of the year so far because it's the best opponent we've played in terms of winning, but I'm not going to over-rationalize it in terms of where we need to go in this season.
Coach, could you talk about your team's aggressiveness, mentality in terms of like pass rush, for instance, and then slinging the ball down the field on offense?
Yeah, that was, I think, by design, and I thought Jet did a nice job. But, the ones that aren't going to get as much credit, and they need to, is our wideouts. And I thought Dante made a couple key catches early in the game. TJ made some competitive catches. RJ, Keyshawn, the corner route for the touch. I thought they just made some – and there's going to be some 50-50 balls every week, and they did a great job. The beginning of your question, you talk about the pass rush. I think that really set the tone for us early. I think we were able to get some push in the middle. I think we were able to get the quarterback off his launch point. I think there were a couple balls hurried early in the game, and I think our guys kind of fed off that energy, and we got to get to the quarterback. Somebody, what'd you say, 7 sacks? And sometimes it's not just the sacks, it's the hits and the pressures really that start to mount up if you're a quarterback. It's not so much the sack.
What do you tell a team? How
well, that's kind of between me and the team. But there were some pointed conversations and emotional, and I mean that's football, and it's relationships. We learn to trust each other a little bit better, and it's got to go both ways. It's not just players, coaches trusting players. Players got to trust coaches, and it goes both ways. And I think anytime you have that kind of game, and it was embarrassing. I don't need to keep saying it, but a lot of us took it personal.
Coach, what did you see from your secondary? I know DeMarcus was the guy who I saw a lot on Tylan Wallace, but to hold a receiver like that, really at bay for most of the game.
Yeah, I thought DeMarcus showed up. He ended up drawing him most of the game just because they're going to play him out at the right side the whole time. I thought our guys, we challenged them this week. It's a big week. And not just him, but I thought Zach showed up a few times. I saw 27, a true freshman corner's first college football game, and he's on that stage. I thought Alex Hogan made a couple key plays, and I'm just proud of them. They hung on. I mean, it was getting thin back there a little bit.
You mentioned pass rush, but how important was that rush defense as well? You kind of modeled on over the course of the
Yeah, Broderick and Jordan Brooks, Rico inside, huge. The ones that aren't going to get any credit is Jay Boogie and Nick McCann right there at the nose. I mean, those guys, Tony Bradford, another true freshman playing. Proud of those guys. That's kind of the big uglies in there, and they're in there battling, and Jordan's making all the tackles, which is he's an elite player. He's an elite linebacker in this league. He made them.
What about Thompson's day, and especially that run where it looked like he was down and kept his balance? And
Tayshawn,
Sir
Roderick.
Thompson.
Yeah. Well, Coach Tomerdahl says S. Thompson because he can't say his name either, so don't worry about it. Yeah, real talk. I thought Sir Roderick had some runs. Tayshawn had one there late. You chalk that up to Hart. Those two young puppies, I think, grew up a little bit today.
Jed had a great game today. What's your perspective on his performance?
I think it's a good step. I mean, a solid step. Completing that many balls, no picks. He missed some early. He didn't let it get him down. He had a good look in his eye. He was communicating well on the sidelines. I put a lot of stock in that. Hey, what'd you see? And when it spits back exactly how Coach Yost and I saw it, I was confident in him, and I thought he had some nice scrambles. He had one early going north, big. Didn't turn the ball over. It's always key. I think our O-line really had a lot of confidence in him.
Jordan a couple times, but that play on that 2-point conversion at the end, does that just sum up Jordan Brooks as a player?
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, maybe checkmate. Maybe the play of the game.
What was it that allowed you guys to throw the ball down the field so much more today than you had been? Is it coverage differences, or is it just
I think we
saying
protected him a little bit better. I think, just for Jet, when you compare it to last week, I think maybe he saw it a little bit better, but we also protected him a little bit better.
About your screen game on offense.
The what game?
Your screen game, the screen passes and
Uh-huh.
stuff like was pretty effective today.
Yeah, and late in the game they did some stuff to take that away, and so it's we run two similar offenses. They do some similar stuff. They threw some of those now screens out there, and we didn't fit them up right. We did fit them up. We got them out of it. They got us out of it. It's kind of a cat and mouse game, but it's a big part of our run game. I know some of you guys give me some hard times, but it's double option and triple option sometimes. It just looks a little 2019-ish, but there's a lot of teams in this league doing that.
TJ Basham's game.
Yeah, big competitive catches. Showed up big. Thought he was physical at the line of scrimmage, and really proud of TJ. Ran down on the vast majority of kickoffs. He's bought into special teams. He's had a good last couple of weeks. Needs to keep taking the next step, which to me is just consistency. But he showed up big today, and the stage was his today.
What's the ceiling for Adrian Taylor?
What was it? What?
What's the ceiling for a player like him?
Oh, I mean, let's talk about Rabbit. I mean, first of all, what a special deal for him being from Oklahoma. from a really good high school program, Carl Albert. That kid he just oozes football junkie. I mean, he's a winner. He's always been a winner. Started on the basketball team for 3 years. We go watch him play in January, and he's guarding the 5. Are you kidding me? I mean, the guy's 5'1". I mean, no, I'm 5'10", but I mean, he's guarding the 5. He's jumping. He's an eye tailback at one of the top 5A schools in Oklahoma. 3-year starter, track. I mean, the guy does everything right, and he's playing DB for the first time. I mean, that's his 5th game out there playing DB. He's got a big ceiling. I mean, he's not where he needs to be yet, but he cares. He's always studying. He's in the building forever, and I got a lot of respect. I'll go to battle with guys like that. I don't care how young they are.
After last week, I mean, how much of just even internal sort of going through what you've done, how much of it is, staying focused on long term, and how much of it is what can we do better right now?
That's the best question I've been asked in a while, because that's the essence of coaching, especially first year in a program. I think the key is that we're not going to deviate from the culture that we're trying to build in the foundation in terms of accountability and discipline. You're playing for the now. You're playing for the long term. That's a tough mix. It's an interesting mix. We're playing for right now. I mean, you just keep going back and forth. But what we're doing is we're building a foundation of accountability and discipline and toughness, the way we practice, the way we go to class, the way we lift weights, all those kind of things. And we're not going to deviate from it, no matter if we're coming off last week's game or we're coming off this game. And we're going to act just the same this week. And I think that will, in turn, build confidence in our players when they understand that the process works. And we, as humans, are very results-driven all the time. Coaches are impatient by nature, but it's not a delicate mix. But we're going to be who we are, but we're going to do everything we can to win right now. But we're not going to sacrifice the future for it, because we're building this thing to be a consistent winner.
Coach, it looked like Jed took a big step today, and he was just setting his feet in the pocket, and it looked like Oklahoma State didn't know what was happening because their spy wasn't doing anything, and then the one time they actually seen the blitz at him, he jukes that guy.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, he got into a rhythm early with the short passes. Was just off on a few of those deep ones that you kind of mentioned in the first question. But the thing that I think that we all saw with Jed is he didn't give up. He didn't let that get him down. He just kind of kept battling. And man, it was a really good win. But we played well around him, And I've said that. We said it in here on Monday at the press conference. The 10 guys around him have to play well. We have to run the ball. We did a decent job of that, but we protected him. And those wideouts made competitive catches. That gives confidence to quarterbacks. And I think that's what you saw out there.
You get the heads-up play in the game, the interception, but on the same play, Rico gets ejected. He's going to miss the first half of next week. Is that, is there a message there with the team about, keeping your focus on the game and not making plays that are going to hurt you in the long run?
Well, I don't think he did that on purpose. Yeah, he sure didn't want to do that. And it'll be interesting to see it on replay and all that. I didn't see it live. So, yeah, he didn't do that on purpose. He didn't want to do that. Nobody wants to get kicked out with 2 minutes left because you're going to miss all the first half of the next game. So,
Following up on that, you finished the game today without Adrian Fry, Des Smith, Tommy Leggett, Rico. What do you expect your defense to look like next week, and how much?
Play with a tremendous amount of pride, effort, and passion. I don't care who lines up. That's what you're going to get. It's football. Guys are going to get dinged up. Those that suit up and get on the bus and the plane with us to Waco will play their ever-living butt off. That's what I'll tell you.
Any of those guys, or Jack Anderson, any of those guys?
Don, I don't know.
Long-term?
I don't know on those guys. Jack Anderson will be out for the year. He's going to have surgery. Upper body injury last week in the game. But I don't know about those other guys. I haven't talked to Doc. So
how much does this look like kind of what you want the
Today,
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good snapshot. I mean, I like the way we played aggressive defense. I wish we could have finished. I mean, I think the first 3 turnovers, maybe we had 10 points. I think we got stopped once. We had a touchdown and field goal. You know, we could have distanced ourselves from them a lot earlier, but we were aggressive. We threw the ball down the field. We didn't turn the ball over. I think are we +5 in the turn? I mean, we're going to preach that. I mean, that's the number 3 thing on the plan to win. I mean, we scored in the red zone. We played, I don't know if we played great special teams yet, but, you know, we played good in the fourth quarter. And, yeah, that's the best it's looked so far this year against a tremendous opponent and, you know, a coach and a staff that I've got a tremendous amount of respect for. I've known a lot of those guys for a long time. It's a really good football team. They beat a top 25 team last week at home. They got a legit QB tailback and Z receiver, and they're going to win a lot of games. So I'm proud of our players.
Following up on that a little bit, for guys like yourself and Luke and Coach Farmer and Coach Patterson who are from Oklahoma, does playing those guys get you any little more amped up?
Yes, sir. They're all the same. Yes, sir. I mean, we're all human, right? Yeah. I mean, that's special for us. So.
The way you played to the right side of your offensive line today, starting Terrence at right guard, and then you put Weston back in, I think third series, was that pre-designed, or
Yeah.
did y'all just not get the look you had on the first 2 series?
No, it's predetermined.
So you planned to go back to, so you planned to play Terrence right tackle then most of the way?
What?
So you planned to play Terrence at right tackle most of the game?
Did we plan to play him at right tackle most of the game?
Yeah. After he started at right guard and played the first 2 series there.
Yeah, it has to do with Casey, Weston right, the combination of those 2 guys also playing. Casey at right tackle got the start. Weston playing right guard, a little bit of both. Terrence can play either side, either spot, Don. So it'll be, you know, Coach Farmer was going to, you know, there was a couple situations we talked about in staff meeting. He was going to keep Terrence at tackle. A couple situations we're going to move him back into guard and then see how those other 2 guys played. Madison and Bruffy, I think, went the whole way, and obviously Dawson.